We in. And like I say, bro. No, but a lot of classic albums. But speaking of which, though, we're gonna real quick tip off the marquee, because he's so right. And albums in that time frame, real quick, to keep it going, real quick. I don't want to leave Jay, but replay value is a motherfucker. That's what damn, real quick. So, do you think replay value is still a thing, or do you think it's kind of relative? You know what I'm saying, to the time, as far as I'm sure for these kids, the replay value is different to them to where it is to us, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, your opinion is your opinion, right? So like
already, right?
So there's already going to be a song that you love that other people don't necessarily feel, right?
Another rap or something.
Like if you got like what? Like a song that you particularly love, if you love Lil Baby or some shit like that, of course you're gonna
exactly.
It's gonna have more replay value to somebody who didn't like the song in the first place.
But chances are, who you love is connected to the time. Not that I mean, again, us being hip hop heads, students of the game, you're gonna dig back. But your staples are gonna be, nigga, this is my time. I love this. You know what I mean? So chances are, who we love, like you said, is not gonna knock the same to where you can mention the J shit. These young kids are like,
but
nigga, you like, all right, that's from about 40 and up niggas. But let me change the speed. But you can hit them with some different J shit where they're like, okay, I can connect.
It's just like they lose their fucking minds
In that time period, right?
Well, okay, so let's. I'm gonna jump in my old man bag.
Jump in your bag
because I'm okay.
R&B is dead.
Yeah, I mean the fact that we're even acknowledging the fact that the R&B is dead is controversial to some folks or whatever, but at the end of the day, the art form is turned into something else, right? So in my old man bag, I will say that replay value is higher the further back you go.
Facts.
Because people were dropping classics, and we're not really in that classic period right now. Like there's people dropping current classics, and sometimes it takes 3 or 4 years, 5 years for it to set in. Like you're like, you know what? Take Care is a classic, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, we know there's still classic material being dropped, but it's not. We know that in terms of hip hop, and everybody can agree that the '90s was the golden age of hip hop, and it was the most. It had the most range, the most like topics, the most different artists from different regions. You know what I mean? Like the internet wasn't really a thing yet, and everybody had a different sound depending on where you was from. Everybody, I mean, like the best of the best, and the quality had to be there, right?
Facts.
Because niggas couldn't put themselves on YouTube or whatever. You feel me? They had to get chosen.
Sad to say, but glad to say, we had gatekeepers.
Yeah, we had gatekeepers.
Now, cats make it look bad, but at the same time, that mitigated a lot. That meant we had a lot of nice motherfuckers. You had to really step to the plate.
Yeah.
Shout out now, you have the freedom to be creative and express.
Yep.
But then you had to kind of fall in line. You had to respect rank, continue to be not like chop that up.
Yes, and so with record companies being, and A&Rs being gatekeepers, and the art form being allowed to flourish in the '90s, we know that that's the classic period, and we know that there's more replay value on that type of stuff. Yeah. And even if you go back before our time, you go back to like the '70s, all of that stuff has high replay value.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, this like.
So that gets into you hit a spot. So where it hits the big question, and which is why I'm glad as a team we got a certain squad here. We got, like you said, old heads, but first off, we got music heads. More importantly, we got your favorite house DJ's favorite DJ with us. So my point to your point would be, let alone replay value and all of that. So do you think that also comes with, because I think what you package is, for me, if you take it back to the time, if you go on a time machine, you had more and more and more and more instrumentation. Do you think that affects replay value? Because I'm just saying, like to your point, you can slap some 70s, some that's gonna hit you. But then again, I guess which brings us to our question of the relativity in time. DJ CME for the youth now, it's not, instrumentation wasn't necessarily a play for them. So again, does that really affect, do you think, the replay value?
I don't think.
And not to say that's your point, Sheet.
I don't think that
Raheem.
Instrumentation does not affect it because you know, if it sounds good, it sounds good. But what it does affect it is the ability to market, and it's easier to market somebody that looks cool and quote unquote sounds cool. Like that's what killed R&B. Like if we were to keep it real to real, it was that. You know what I mean? Like it's like there are people that can sing. There's many people that can sing.
Thank you.
But you don't like if you were to name some like modern day singers, you can't. Like it's like, you know, like who do we got? Janae Aiko?
Yeah.
You know, like no offense to Janae,
I'm
but
with you.
she's no, you know
I'm
what I'm
with
saying?
you.
Right, like she's no Coco, you know what I mean, or something like
Man.
that. You know what I mean, like.
To your point, the
She can
marketing
sing,
machine.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's about, you know, machine, and so it just with the advancement, you know, of music and like the dumbing down of music.
Thank
like,
you.
let's keep it
Thank
real.
you. Thank you.
The dumbing down of music.
Thank you.
It you know it killed the actual need to be an artist. You know what I mean? Like it's like the need to be a singer got lost when the need to be a lyricist got lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then so like they kind of fused together. And so it's like now you don't have lyricists anymore. You have niggas that rap. Now you don't have, you know, singers anymore. You got niggas that can carry a tune. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, see me. This is work though. Keep going. Keep going. This I really wanted to ask you this because, like I said, you.
And so like it was like so music like so it changed completely. So just like is there, you know, is singing completely dead? Of course not.
Yeah.
But is it dead within a modern aspect? I believe so.
Yeah.
Word.
I mean, okay, so we know that
Go ahead.
R&B was flourishing in the soul era in the 70s and then, of course, in the 80s. But in the 90s, R&B had its own lane
Facts.
Yep.
and all of that, but there was a merging called New Jack Swing.
Yep.
And New Jack Swing merged hip-hop sounds with R&B lyrics and upbeat lyrics typically more often than not. So, so you had a bunch of party tracks from Aaron Hall and them and Guy, you know what I mean? And New Jack Swing took us left and right a little bit, but really, if you think about it, it was like the first infusion. But that second infusion when R&B couldn't hold it no more after, because we had a resurgence with, you know, Jill Scott and Music Soul Child and all them. That was like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, but that was that neo soul.
Neo soul is R&B though. I mean,
I would agree. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you. Let's clear that up.
It was
cool.
It was a.
So here, our R&B is that we're not parsing up. It's under the umbrella. It's all R&B. Continue.
Yeah. So because neo soul was it had to have a new name because it was a new resurgence.
Thank you.
It had to have a subgenre.
Thank you.
Like we know a lot of 70s music is labeled soul music, and some of it is labeled funk.
Or oldies.
Yeah, but a lot of it is R&B.
Thank you.
At the roots of what it is.
Let alone. So, and again, our earlier question for those of y'all tuning in now, maybe that didn't catch it, we might have been off on that one. The question was, is R&B resurging or is it now becoming something new? As he hit on, R&B has gone through so many phases. So, are we at something new? But continue your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so now we merged. So now we merged again, and it's not called New Jack Swing anymore. It's called it's basically called hip hop. And hip hop, you got your Drakes and your Bryson Tillers, and you know what I mean. Even early on, you had Lloyd, who was kind of lightweight a rapper,
kind of on the gateway. Hey, thank you for that.
Like he kind of merged it up a little.
Murder Inc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, I mean, and Drizzy is. I'm a huge fan. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm not hating on the people who can do both. Because even in the 90s, you had some people singing their own hooks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ill Now Scratch was singing. You know what I mean? We had, you had.
No,
you know
some folks was with it.
You had people who could bust it too.
Most Def.
Lightweight. Most Def does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People respect
time,
Fontaine, but Fontaine has a whole nother side to him.
Because to your point, there was a
Fontaine,
line.
beast.
Animal. I'd say that, and forgive me, I hope he forgives me, I hope it's not bad. In my mind, I love to say it, the Renaissance man, the hip hop Jamie Foxx. Funny, spit, and sing. You know what I mean? And not to say Jamie Foxx, multi-talented. I'm sorry. Maybe Fontaine could act. I know that's hardball, but yeah. But to your point.
You're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. Like, that man can do anything.
Everything. I love Fontaine.
Yeah, I like most of that.
But real quick, can we touch on the fact, because there was a hard line, thanks to, you know, acts like Wu-Tang and such, maybe certain purists, that made it taboo to sing. on hip hop tracks if you could. Which, cause think real quick, I would say even cats like where I'm kind of mad. Hip hop fan, hardcore hip hop fan, Redman. Love Redman.
Mm-hmm.
On the low, for those that are fans, you know Redman can hum a tune. You can mess with it. Certain funk joints where I'm almost, not to say I would want to hear him sing, but you're almost like, bro, you gotta get there.
Smoke Buddha.
But I think
I don't even know if that was really him.
That wasn't.
But I think on
That's
one of
him
his
on the-
Super Lover tracks, a
Yeah.
couple other joints, he be singing. Where I think he's embracing it now that he's older.
and the
he
God
can.
MC, and the God MC Black Thought
But again, Taboo-
has sang
Hey,
before.
say word.
We know that.
I believe you. I would
Because the silent treatment. He sang the whole
Oh!
hook of the silent treatment.
Okay.
He was singing on the song.
Okay. No,
You know
we'll
what I
play.
mean?
Yeah, we'll play.
But-
We'll play.
And this is a respected God MC. Okay, so we not
God,
so we can't
the
hate,
dark
you-
horse.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't in the same breath hate on.
Celestial being.
You
yeah.
can't in the same breath hate on Bryson Tiller because he's mixing
Ken
the
Griffey.
two.
Bro, that's where hip hop came from. You know what I'm saying? To the hip hop, the hip to the hip.
Melodies.
Daydreaming by Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, not by all them songs. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that shit,
I mean,
yes.
not by Sugar
Like
Hill Gang.
Motown,
I'm
all of
tripping.
that.
But what's that nigga name? Curtis Blow. That was it.
Yeah.
Curtis Blow. That was
But
Curtis
those
Blow.
were our roots,
Yeah.
and we were close to them though, and we were at a point where it was kind of not inseparable. But I think to Rashida's saying too, you could always see the divisions. And each thing lined up, the next thing. Where now we really hit this cool blur to where things are maybe spiking off again. But yeah, drop it.
And yeah, hip hop has always been inspired by R&B
Well, I've
or
seen some other
soul
shit. But
soul
yeah.
music in its roots because sampling soul music is like a straight up part of the ingredients of hip hop. Like if you don't sample
Facts.
soul music, you don't have the same kind of feel. I mean, and for my hardcore, I hate R&B dudes because I remember the first time I ever heard anybody say something like this. It was Del the Funky Homo Sapien. And I remember he had a song called Whack MCs, and he was on there.
Oh.
And I remember part of the verse was, "We hate R&B because that shit is sorry. That's just for saps." Like I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" Like so now we're hating on R&B, huh? Okay. Yeah. Like I can't get with this line. I can't get with this feeling that hip hop is somehow different and so different that we hate.
Should have asked first. I apologize.
You know what I'm saying?
My bad, dog. That was hella rude. I'm sorry. My bad, yo. I just dug
Yeah, I was like,
DJ
what-
CME's collection.
you looking for
You know what I'm
flavor.
saying?
Yeah.
My bad, I
Yeah.
didn't want to ruin the
good.
recording. My bad, yo.
No, but
Well-known fact, DJ CME is alphabetized and generalized his records. You know what I'm saying? Genre and such, you know what I'm saying?
By genre.
So I've broken the code. My bad, B.
But no, like the hardcore hip hop fan who thinks that R&B is not a part of the recipe and that they hate it somehow, it's just that's like some inner child I need to get in touch with myself type shit, like for real, because if you,
Evolution is hard for some, right?
yeah, but the hardcore hip hop fan is usually typically a fan of Wu-Tang, like you just said, right?
Yes.
And Wu-Tang first single was Cream, and you start the song off like, ooh, ah, these niggas are singing.
Old Dirty was R&B.
And they're singing on some 70s soul to go with the sample, and I get it, but it's still part of the ingredients.
Yeah.
And so to jump back to your question, I think that R&B has a lane still, and it still exists.
Okay.
It's just not mainstream.
Okay.
It's not publicized like that. You know what I mean? Like the girl Her and
right. So, but and that's what I'm saying.
Like,
so, would you say it's resurging?
But here's the thing.
And see, there's
Or would you say it's resurging as something kind of else? Like
no,
we don't know what
I'd
it
say
is.
it's
Yet.
barely surviving when you can name a few artists. It's not resurging.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like even the boot up girl, Ella May.
That's exactly who I'm about to bring up.
She can carry a tune like.
This is
like
how I
Sydney
said. She's not a singer. She just carries a
she can carry a tune and. Let's get on some sacrilegious. Okay, you want to ring some bells? You want to ruffle some feathers?
Do that, please.
You know who could sing? Who could carry a tune, but really was carried mostly by her band?
Who?
Sade. She has a real smoky jazz singer.
Yeah, without question.
You ruffle it now.
She has a real smoky jazz singer voice, which is almost entrancing. It has its own lane.
Got that
like
good
Tom
tavern,
Waits.
that good tavern voice. Yeah. Go ahead.
Tom Waits did it. David Ruffin did it. And David Ruffin can sing.
Billie Holiday.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Billie
different.
Holiday in
Billie
her later
Holiday.
years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But and
I feel like Sade be
no diss
crooning.
to the artist. No diss to the artistry that Sade had.
Facts.
Right.
No,
Even,
yeah. We
you know
don't
what I mean?
disrespect.
But
We got love.
she
We just
wasn't-
critique on R&B.
She
is
wasn't
good.
a standard singer, and especially on the R&B level that she was competing at.
You think it's international waters?
Yeah,
She ain't
yeah,
from
yeah.
out
She
here.
got the international
But
flavor.
that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. You
and-
think that's
and-
where it comes from? Not being connected directly to the blue. No hate to y'all out there. I know y'all got your own vibe.
Yeah, they picked.
We just listen different.
They pit Anita Baker versus Whitney Houston and all that. They,
You know what I'm saying?
they put people against each other in terms of like fans.
Because out here, you're in the soul though. You in it. You hear it,
Yeah,
and everybody
yeah,
knows the difference.
yeah.
But out there, like I say, maybe it's a different vibe. Where we took like, okay,
Yeah, Sade snuck. She snuck in on a cheat code, and Adele did the same thing. It was like, and Sam Smith. It was like, hey,
well,
guess
but
what?
they also had that other bonus card, right? Because pause, I've said this. I know.
They're
we have a
definitely
hard
white. They're definitely white.
And
But
not like that, right? But I feel like black folks, we kind of have a wild side card for shit like that. Like, oh, you white, you can do the shit.
yeah,
and
well,
I'm not
we
hating.
did it with Michael McDonald, and we did it. You know what I mean? With,
I love Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, well, yeah, and she had a big fan base when she was here, and I mean, I like a few of her tunes, but
Yeah.
I mean, I like, George Michael and them. They
Yeah.
dude could write a tune.
Yeah, not that they can't get down,
Dude
but
is
like
tight.
you said, yeah, word.
But I mean, it was always the diet version of
Yeah.
what I mean, the soul music that black folks will bring to the
That's
table.
what I'm more so saying. Like you're not coming from the homegrown tradition, and that's no hate. Not that you don't have love. We all love hip hop. We're not all from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, and not like that. But to your point, where we can all be like, well, I'm from USA, or you know what I mean. To your point, though, it's all different. It's all relative. You know what I mean? I guess we all have a different connection to it, and that's all. And not to say anyone is any less connected, but sometimes you just feel different vibes, or it's just kind of a different vibration. Where I love, not to say we don't love shit. Pause. Ain't Slick Rick from the United Kingdom out there overseas?
Yeah.
But we love it. It's a different vibe. But again, that's the storyteller. Everybody has their place, and we love you. Excuse me. There's no hate on nobody. Do what you do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I will
I'm over
say
here convoluting your
I
point.
will say there's a little bit of an advantage.
I'm gonna let you say that. I'm gonna let you.
There's the Europe advantage. I mean,
Ooh,
it's
nice. Spin that.
in a weird way. The UK has
I was
actually
reading this point.
a disadvantage.
Okay.
The UK has in a hip hop sense.
What you think?
The UK has a disadvantage. They have their own scene. They have all that grime music and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
not blowing up over here like that
Yeah.
because we have too much of a saturated market our own self. So
Already.
so a person from the UK would be a black person from the UK would have a harder time blowing up
Yeah.
than a person from the US. But Sade, for some reason, her international appeal gave her an extra edge.
And niggas love jazz. No,
You
sorry.
you know what? It was. She was doing the right place at the right time.
And
During
she's not hip hop.
During that, you got to remember,
Yeah,
during
no,
the time that Sade came
Was
across,
she family good?
during the time that Sade blew up, like there was a resurgence of European, the European R&B.
Wave. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
European R&B and jazz. Like
Okay.
you had like a bunch of motherfuckers coming around that time. Like stupid people. Like what's the dude that
Not a.
Paul Hardcastle?
Paul Hardcastle. You had Paul Hardcastle.
Go ahead.
You had
DJ CME, y'all
yeah,
go ahead,
yeah.
boy. Go ahead. Yeah.
You had Soul to Soul. You had all these groups that were emerging out of that sound, like the early '80s. I'm talking about like you're talking about, like, and like it was just like a whole resurgence, and like they were all pumping each other. And the thing that made Sade stand out was if that it was a real. I mean, like there were other black and white bands and shit like that, but what made her stand out was like, let's keep it real, it was the cheat code with her looks.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
she looked great.
It was her looks. That's the
Yeah,
cheat
man.
code, dog.
Okay,
like
okay,
it's just
okay,
like it's
okay.
like that.
But I don't know who was writing the tunes because I don't think she was writing the tunes.
Oh no! It
But-
was a drummer dude that wrote most of the tunes.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
it wasn't like okay. And
So
let's
y'all don't think it was just the voice? And not
think
like
it- I
that.
think
That's
it
what
was-
I'm
I think it was-
saying. But you guys think it's other factors though, not just the voice.
I think it was a myriad of things. I think it was a
Gotcha.
whole combination, like the UK advantage
Got you.
because she had an international appeal to her, so
Right.
she could be a global star.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Shakira or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she had a not only did she have the international appeal, but she had great looks. She could carry a tune. She had a fantastic band, and the songs were deep. It wasn't even like she was doing some Debbie Gibson pop.
Nah, she had some good Fog Machine music. She was deep.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't like so I mean, she had the whole recipe. I mean, really, except for a really powerful voice. She was whispering on.
I wouldn't say that, Facts. You sick. So Facts.
Janet did it. Janet did it.
She had that voice though, where I feel like you say, like you had the bass, like you're not going out of any other octave. Like this is what you do. So I think in what she did, she had a powerful voice because she was on them tracks coming.
She had an angelic lullaby voice. Yeah, and it was high quality, but it wasn't powerful. She wasn't belting out tunes. It wasn't like long runs and riffs. If you're talking about singing, she didn't have power.
Now pause, and now can I also talk about something that you seeing me hit on? And pause, y'all. Again, you with R&B is dead. We got your host with the most, Akeem Rahim. We got your favorite house DJ's DJ. Not that he just DJ's house, but I mean your regular residential DJ. This is his favorite, DJ CME. We got your boy, Emil LaReal, leader of the Five Head Gang, Hetty Murphy. Holla at me. But we're in the spot. But the question is, to your point, what are you thinking in regards to, because I think we've all hit on something to where we have something, I feel like, these generations, and I'm not trying to be one of them, oh, you're an old head. No. I am, but I think there's certain differences. And I feel like the fact is we do have these things where I'm like, you don't have it. You just have what you have, so you're stuck with your sample size, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas we came from like, pick somebody from your crew, we could battle, right? We'll compare them. Point being, singing. We each one hit on something. Chorus hit on something. You've hit on something. We come from an era where we were exposed to maybe the last of the variety of singer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Again, this phrase, we came from the age of motherfuckers could blow. They could blow. They got pipes. Ooh. That mean motherfuckers was belting. Yeah. Blowing the fucking roof off. To your point, shit that Mariah Carey does was impressive because that was a skill set motherfuckers that could blow couldn't always do. They make it blow the roof off, but they couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. To your point where you're like, there's a spectrum of skills. What your boys say, I mean, fuck that nigga, but Liam Neeson, I got a specific set of skills. Motherfuckers couldn't necessarily do everything everybody could do, you know what I'm saying? But now, can a motherfucker do that? You know what I mean? To where I'm like, to where y'all said, like, I don't want to call anybody mediocre. Please eat, feed your family too. Who am I, right? Mm-hmm. It's all relative. Respect to y'all. Get y'all money. Pause. But again, compared to, there's not a lot of motherfuckers out there that could touch what folks that we've had do. So again, what do you think? Like, do you think, barring that, is R&B making that resurgence? Again, you mentioned, well, pause. I think her is cool. I think her can get down. Mm-hmm. There are a few that are coming out that can finally.
She's how hot to me, dog.
I'm not mad at you. And she, come on, B, you a Bay. She from the Bay, like Vallejo. Yeah, you're not mad. She's in around the way, girl.
Oh my god, she's in around. She got some titties. Oh.
I'm mad.
Well,
I'm sorry. I just said, my bad, y'all. Sorry.
Well, let me say this.
Sorry, y'all.
Appreciate Women Month. Nah, CME, that's love. We gotta show the love. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I like black women.
Cause come out to the show. Her, if you need a DJ, anytime he's ready. You know what I'm saying? We know you got the band and all that, but he's ready to go. But but to your point, it's those, and it's a few popping up where we're like, whoa. Because we've been missing that. We've kind of had some garden variety. I'll say that. Garden variety, right? R&B. We're like, okay, I can get by, I can sing. I feel like Sierra was one of ours where you're like, okay, but we knew, like, so you really could just dance.
That's no, Sierra was... Okay, so it's the same thing with Aaliyah. Aaliyah could not sing.
Thank you. So,
like I'm not to speak ill of the dead.
Thank
you know what I'm saying?
Respect.
Well, actually, I take that back. Because you got to think about let me know. Let me know. I'll take it back.
This is why we gotta have
CME.
I'll take that back. Let me know. I take that back, y'all. But you think about the majority of her songs.
Thank you.
She wasn't necessarily singing that hard.
Or anything. There weren't many words.
Yeah.
That's 4 bars right there.
Well, she could sing. She just wasn't challenged.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's exactly.
Wash. You could not. You sing better than Ray J.
Well, I mean,
Hey, wait. Ray J. Can Ray J sing? Let's go ahead and argue that.
Thank you.
You know, Ray J. Right now, like I love Ray J. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad. That's your character.
You know what I'm saying? Ray J is an awesome
black man. Work
awesome
hard.
GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done things that you know what I'm saying. Like let's respect his legend, right?
y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it all the way funky.
Keep it a buck. Yeah.
But at the same time,
all his cars is paid for.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? In don't poo, out don't poo.
You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
Bunny glasses, yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You know, Raycon popping on your bitch ass, scooty bike. Get you a scooty bike. You know what I'm saying?
My shit is the bunny eyes.
Right.
The indestructible glasses.
But let's be real. Ray J can't sing
at all.
Like, it's not that he. It's not that he can't sing. It's not. I wouldn't say at all. Like,
damn that.
No, okay, so let's put him in. I'll put him in a category for you.
Stop it.
All right, so there's a bunch of male vocalists who could carry a tune and they made some decent songs, but they didn't have they couldn't sing like
she. Can Mos Def sing better than Ray J? That breath you took right there had.
Hey, Mos Def can sing better than Ray J.
CME.
Yeah, I mean, Mos Def can sing better than Ray J.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to defeat your argument at all.
But see, the problem with Mos Def is that he has a jazz singer kind of quality about his voice. And he's not the best singer in terms of range.
Oh God, yeah.
He just his songs are written well and they're powerful.
Yeah,
in terms of depth.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to compare those songs to someone else's.
You listen to it differently.
Like "Girl Come Back to Me" is not like Umi Says. Umi Says is like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
And it's a different kind of.
He writes his songs like an MC. Like you said, there's depth in it.
Umi Says oh my God.
Yeah.
Or even the panties.
Yeah. I mean,
not a lot of words, but the whole time you like.
But the panties was him. It was him getting his kind of smooth knack on. Like, you know what I mean? Like it felt like a Midnight Love intro or something. But it felt more closer to R&B.
Any girl that listens to
Umi Says is not R&B. Umi Says is like
facts.
We'll call it soul music for that for a reason.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's
hard because you can't call that. You can't necessarily say like
that has a world
invite. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
got an African kind of tone to it.
Yeah.
It feels like world music in a way.
You said like world music. I could feel that. That's funny.
Yeah, remember when world music was popping like that? Like, who was that? Paul Simon?
Yeah, okay.
Paul Simon was trying to make world music.
Yeah, no. Was your boy Lionel Richie?
The last world
Lionel Richie made a lot of pop.
But what about like
Party,
Fiesta?
All Night Long?
That was world music.
Yeah, right? Okay, back. You know what I'm saying? All Night Long.
It was Caribbean inspired.
Yeah,
so it kind of felt like,
Yeah.
Rhythm of the Night, world music.
Ooh, okay.
And who was it?
Billy Ocean. You have Billy Ocean.
Billy O.
Yeah.
That was Rhythm of the Night was Billy O?
Oh, no. You said Billy Ocean. He got some world music too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hell yeah.
But Paul Simon was the king of world music because he really had the African dancers in like the whole nine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we had.
And as a kid?
Yeah, chain dancers.
I thought we was for real free. Like as a kid,
yeah,
like
I hear you. I love you.
like you know what I mean?
It was so much propaganda back then.
Imagine being a black kid in the 80s, right?
It was so much propaganda.
You're watching Cosby on TV, and he's like accomplished. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like they gotta you know what I mean? Like you're seeing Michael Jordan. Everybody wants to be like Mike, and that was not all the black people want to be like Mike. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, and it was like the song.
But just the idea.
Everybody wants to be like Mike. And I'm like, wow, everybody wants to be like Mike? That's crazy.
No,
because my pops just showed me roots. And I know where we came from. Like, that was not that long ago for everybody to want to be like Mike right now.
I love you.
You feel me?
No, facts.
And so
you and I have talked about that dynamic.
Yeah, and with Paul Simon in the mix, making world music and being your bodyguard and your long lost pal, I literally thought we had found utopia. We was in harmony. I thought we had racial harmony.
Facts.
Like I really did not know
Facts.
Like I was like, wow. And who's giving me who's teaching me how to read? LeVar Burton.
Pause.
And who's teaching all the kids how to read?
Pause.
LeVar Burton.
Pause.
It felt like we made it. I swear to God, it was a different time. Like it didn't. It was not like even now.
Motherfucking Data, ladies and gentlemen. People know about Data, Star Trek generation.
Yes, and people.
LeVar, flyest glasses in the game.
Yeah, right. He was ahead of the time still.
Y'all saying?
But let's be real. I mean, even now, folks, especially folks of color, don't really have as much positive representation and as much hope as we had at that time.
No, it got worse. Like
things got worse. Things got worse. And in this worsening social climate, music has to get worse. Expression has to get worse, darker, and sometimes half-assed in terms of delivery and
ooh, you going hard.
I feel like they're intertwined in some kind of way.
So you hit something. Let me ask you this one, especially you two, CME. Like I say, you DJing, you killing the game, you doing these shows. I want to ask y'all this, because you two, this is why I love y'all as the host. You two hit on a lot of history, a lot of music history. So my question to you is, the fact that you were able to represent this history, real quick, a little drawn out question. My question is to you, given all of the remakes now that I think are really, as you talked about, dumbed down. This is not to hate on the remakes, but I feel like it's really, if you talk a sample, in the idea of the word sampling, is really just a sample of the original song. Do you think the history is being, if not carried on right, what would you say? You know what I mean? Personified, carried on in the right way, maybe, in the sense of, like, think about the songs where, damn, I had one in mind too. All the remakes, like there's another new one that just came out where I was like, damn, like you didn't even really do the shit smooth.
There's too many of them.
And like now at the rate where that's what I'm saying, the quality. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think the quality is carrying on to where the history is carrying on?
Even like you go to Mexican music or reggaeton, excuse me, let me not say Mexican music.
Yeah.
But you go to
for real.
I just said all type of.
Nah, you spin everything though.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I spin anything. If you go to reggaeton right now, man, that ain't shit. But they'll take a 90s black song, rap songs, hip hop songs, or 2000 songs, and literally do the same thing that, you know, rappers doing with the Jamaican beat in Spanish. I fuck with it because it's like, you know, Ozuna, I love that dude. Like, that dude spit, like, he's raw. I love his voice and everything like that. But at the same time, it's just a repeat and rinse of, you know, of the same shit that everybody else is doing. And just like, dude, like, did we hit some type of pinnacle? You know what I mean? When it came to music back then? Because it's like, bro, we're the, you know.
Well, that goes back to your question about instrumentation.
Host with the most, what you
right?
got? Yeah.
Like, the idea of kids start learning instruments in school.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
There's less musically talented people on instruments, drums, horns, whatever. Right.
Or to your point, since the time frame you mentioned, it's been on the decline, being pulled out of school since slowly.
Yeah.
Right?
So now the average person doesn't know how to play an instrument, whereas kind of the average person kind of did at one point.
Yep.
And so the creativity has to have a downward spiral.
It's good to
like,
degrade.
You know what I mean? And so
it's gonna be a natural degradation.
And hip hop is you know, not it's not perfect. You know what I mean? And one of the things that hip hop did with sampling, because sampling is so clean when you do it right.
Yep.
And it makes a song.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And sometimes it ties the two songs together. Yep. You know, sometimes it ties the songs together in a way where the fan can appreciate this song now.
And to my point, the quality. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
But the creative license to sample doesn't regulate what quality you're gonna put out, right? So, hip hop made sampling okay, and now, like you said, reggaeton music is just sampling hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so now we're in this circle of non-creativity, a bunch of recycled.
Everything. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If this was Coke era rap, they would say everything is stepped on. You just stepping on the stepped on shit, everything. Now we're just at the point of like word.
Yeah, I mean, Nori had a drink champs with Lil Wayne recently.
Yeah, I didn't peep that one, but I saw the.
And he starts out the interview with the horns and shit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne is one of the most influential artists of our whole time. We got a whole generation of people who look like him, and that sound like him, and you know, basically got their inspiration from him." And Wayne even acknowledged that, like, yeah, you know, I didn't even know that at first, but that's, you know, these people keep these rappers keep telling me that, you know, I was the one that inspired them or whatever, and you can see it. You know what I mean?
You already know Wayne, the style you hear.
Yeah, like and culturally it's terrible because, right? Like, I mean, everybody wants to be a drugged out, lean sipping dreadhead.
Yeah, he inspired our whole culture, nigga.
With tattoos on their face.
Good, right?
And you know what I mean? Like this, like this, like this.
You know, as good as your examples,
yeah. Yeah, but so now you got a whole generation of people who are basically a bunch of Lil Wayne babies, and it's like, you know, the problem is they didn't pick up any of the positive qualities,
exactly,
like his creativity or the fact that he could spit. He could rap better than a lot of people.
It's like,
and so you want to be just like Lil Wayne, but not rap good?
And you're not gonna reach that ever. You're always gonna be some off-brand version. The next off-brand is gonna degrade every time.
And it degrades every time. But be inspired by the lyricism.
Or pause, and I get what you're saying more so. Sorry, that's what you're saying. You say versus the lifestyle.
Do you have any Cash Money pieces? Sorry, that's a random ass question. But
no, I had a whole plan of doing
because Cash Money go crazy.
Like a Lance, like a Lance Armstrong type of like bike marathon, and it would be Stunner and Manny, and it would be get your roll on,
do that shit.
And I thought about that, but I haven't. I mean, I got a list of paintings that I'm supposed to do, and they're still on my list.
Between that, this shows. Speaking of which, Akeem Rahim, y'all. When's your next show? You said? Did you say you got some shit coming up? Or are you just in the lab right now?
No, I'm just in the lab right now. I have I just dropped off some pieces to go into some courthouse in Contra Costa County. So those things is hanging right now, and I'm doing Art of Living Black right now. So I got stuff hanging.
Art of Living Black. You just did that festival for the African
American Community Services Agency. Yeah, a little table there, but I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, once you make something okay to do, once everybody gets the green light on something,
it's like
that's not the path to do it,
to jump in that
in like a non-creative way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like you could see people take something and run with it, right? Like, like early Kanye West did the sped up samples, but really he got that from Just Blaze.
Oh, thank you. Love Just Blaze. Yes.
And Just Blaze and the Dipset and all that was popping before Ye was. And Kanye.
You think Just Blaze was popping before Kanye?
Yes, I would say, because
well, who did he like? Because I think they came out around the same time.
Come on, see me.
I can say that they probably overlapped because Just Blaze was on top in 2002 or 3.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like I mean, making Dipset type beats, and Kanye blew up a couple years later.
Really? I would say, because wasn't he?
He was Ace to the Izzo though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about Ace to the Izzo.
Who's Ace to the Izzo?
That was Kanye.
But my point being, so you talking blueprint.
Kanye's been making beats since before he even was famous. I'm not here to talk about dates. I'm here to talk about sped up sampling.
All right, but then too, my thing is, Wasn't and I'm not good with that scene. That's why we need you, see. But
that-
wasn't Blaze
that
fucking with
was.
like MOP shit like that already?
Oh, you know what? I'm not a historian on it. If I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
that's
so
why
just
that's
Blaze-
why I'm ignorant.
Just Blaze.
No, I feel you though. I'm just bad with that kind of
good
shit.
at some shit. But
Just Blaze was a student of Primo, and he was like really.
And that's what I'm saying. I
Just
think-
Blaze is like a '90s producer. He didn't get his just due
And I think
until
Blaze
basically
was doing
2001
what
or
are you
two.
fucking with though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And that's what I'm
Because
trying to
it's
remember too. And
Because
that's why I
I'm
feel
just
bad.
like
And I'm not, I'm not here to know exactly his timeline or whatever, but I do know that
But in theory,
that sped up sample.
How did you say that?
That sped up sample style wasn't like a brand new thing you've never heard before when Ye did it. It was done well though.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, he did it and made it kind of his. It's like,
And who could argue that? Because that's his shit to admit that. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know.
I'm saying, you remember when when he was just talking about, oh, I'll take them drums. If I hear some dope drums, nigga, I'm going to take the drums. And I think it was Pete, remember? Because Pete Rock got at him. Because remember when after they did the shit together, it was like, oh, big deal, quote unquote. But it was like, Pete got him like, nigga, that shit is lazy, B. Like, you just taking drums and just, come on now, sip your game up, B. It's just lazy. Like, oh, if I hear some dope drums, I'm going to take the drums. And you're just like, So, but I just said to your point of like, I mean,
why would
shocked.
you hate those? It was like that made sense. I was just like, well,
No, in theory, right? But I mean,
that's what Zeppelin is, my nigga. Like,
right? You like, well, nigga, I chose this part. Yeah, you can't argue which part.
I wonder why you Pete Rock.
Like,
Yeah,
I like
he's
I like this.
Facts.
there are some
ingredient,
niggas that
I'm
like
gonna do
shit
that
hard.
ingredient.
Right? Who said I gotta just
yeah.
sample the voice? And
Right,
you gotta
it's
like
like
the drum.
there are
What
some
the
niggas
fuck
that
you
just
mean?
don't like,
That would be like
You're like, I don't like doing this part.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Yeah.
that would be like my man's on Iron Chef being like, so you used garlic, huh?
Yeah.
I've used garlic before. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's part of the recipe.
Yeah.
So I
can't use the garlic.
if we compare it to making a dish,
Facts.
you're gonna use recipe.
Facts.
You're gonna use ingredients
Facts, huh?
that niggas used before.
No.
You like Tony Sashers? I do.
Right. Tony Thatcher's the shit.
Right? You're gonna throw some Tabasco in there? Cool. You didn't make up Tabasco, but your dish is hot fire because of the Tabasco.
Yeah.
Is that? Is it now you didn't cook it because you didn't make
Right.
the salt?
Facts.
Yeah, that
Come on,
get the fuck out of here.
I'm done. R&B is
Exactly.
Come on, bro. So,
Nah.
take those drums and use them in a different way than you heard them.
Yeah, and most niggas is not gonna be up in here talking about, I've heard these jokes before. That's the weird ass auto files, you know what I'm saying? But your average listener, you know, the other 95% of the niggas that listen to that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Yeah.
I
sometimes-
recognize these drums.
And sometimes,
It's fire.
hey, I saw the commercial the other night. I was like,
Damn!
it's called a pizzeria.
Yeah,
But those look like flames.
those look fire.
Nah, that shit was good.
A piece of dick.
Hey, they're trying to get me to break the strike line.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Apologize, you know what I'm saying? Get me fucked up.
Now, pause. We ain't gonna say your name. You pay us, we'll say your name. But the shit was good. Really good. You know
Stopped
what
me
I'm
in my
saying?
tracks. That was it.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
Yeah, you know what
Those
I'm
look
saying?
amazing.
Cheese and mince, you know what I'm saying? I agree though. I agree. And to your point, so shit, it almost sound like indirectly. It almost sound like, you know what I'm saying, we really can't. I guess it feels like we haven't said it's necessarily making a resurgence, but it sounds like we've said naturally the seeds of R&B are doing their thing. I mean, I know it might sound hella corny and grandiose. I just feel like I haven't directly heard anybody say it's coming up. I mean, we haven't mentioned her, which is dope. Keep going, sis. I know it's another couple artists where I'm like, yo, you killing shit right now. But
Yeah, but you know, okay, so here's
Lucky Day? Well, he's not killing because he's not on the radio.
Okay, so let's just
And,
say
but
this.
it's- you know what I'm saying? Even Jay, I'm trying to think of who has mainstream radio.
and that's what I'm saying too, right?
And you know what?
And y'all said LMA already.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
We're struggling
Right.
to come up with names.
So
That's the
damn.
whole point. The whole point is not that. It's not that.
Chris Brown can sing.
Hey,
He can sing.
love Chris Brown.
Anderson .Paak can sing.
Love Anderson. Anderson's that name. But to your point is where you said,
Yeah.
but it's not R&B.
That's not R&B.
I think he can do R&B.
How is it not though?
Wait.
And I'm not saying he's not. But
I mean,
his
he's got
point
a
I'm
lot,
like, because
he's got a lot of R&B
he can
ingredients.
rhyme. That's what I'm saying. Like but to your point, he can do R&B, and I think that's when niggas start parceling shit. But I'm just like,
we talking about we're talking. Well,
would you put Anderson in the
okay,
R&B
so like I'm
box?
talking about like Chris Brown's definitely R&B. Like R&B,
Facts, love
right,
Chris
right?
Brown.
Yeah. But to say that Anderson it's like
non-guilty,
he's
guilty
a line
pleasure.
walker, like because like half of this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like Drake is a rapper.
Thank you.
Right? Like, I put Drake as a rapper before I put him as a singer, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, but
Anderson, you're like,
damn,
you can
like he does both so fucking well. It's like with
and
because there was that time where he was that
and he's
nigga
a genre bender.
He's a super
that's
genre
one
bender.
of those things. Like
he was that nigga where I couldn't tell him apart on features where I was like, wait, is that still Kendrick rhyming or is that? Wait, what nigga? Who is?
he sounds like Kendrick Lamar. A lot
Where
of times.
I'm like.
It sounds like
I
if
could
Kendrick
not
sang,
separate. I
could
don't
have.
know
But you know, Kendrick got so many fucking voices.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
that's
remember
one thing.
what
That's what also makes him a dope
Thank
MC
you.
because he knows how to use his voice.
Thank you.
As
an instrument.
Yeah.
You're an MC. You're an instrument. Yeah.
Like he knows how to. He does that.
Nah, it was
like he's not going to debate you. I mean, no shout out to the.
no, it's no hate.
No
You're
hate,
right
but
though.
it's like
Yeah.
the baby.
Shout out to the
the same
monotone
line.
because Drake is still the original monotone. You can sing and do other shit, but you like that monotone vibe, and I feel like to your point, he's bred cats that.
Right. But
Yeah, and that monotone.
is the fine fucking.
Oh yeah, no,
that monotone
Is he
style
for real
works
to where
well for the people who can pull it
know
off.
how to do it?
And,
Know how to
and
do
Drake
it.
is one of those.
So I
people.
think Prodigy was one of those. If you ask me,
Prodigy did
there
it.
wasn't a lot of flex.
If-
It
if
was
it's-
just rhyming.
Guru, obviously, because
Ball head slick, rest in peace.
but if Prodigy did it, then Nas did
You
it.
mentioned Primo earlier. No, I think it's different. I really think it's just
Prodigy
Nas has more
Nas-
inflection in
Yeah.
his voice.
Nas might have flexion in his voice, but he never he's absolutely right. Because
So-
it's like even on You Owe Me, right? That's a like you.
Yeah, it's like owe me back like you owe me your tax.
That's a hype track. You should be able to like, you know what I mean? Like, but he's swag young. You know what I'm saying? And you think
God,
about
all the
Uchi
time,
Wally,
with all
right?
the
Yeah,
shine.
and I guess in
Uchi Wally, you know what I'm
theory you
saying?
can.
If
Yeah,
these are his
time.
you
club
right.
bangers,
You right. In theory, you right.
Links, Minx, Platinum Azure was
Yeah.
mine.
these are his club. And these are his club
My shit
bangers.
bang out
He
to
on
the
his Esco
borderline.
shit.
Right,
He
on
on
his
his
Esco
Esco.
shit.
So to your point,
JV actually had the inflection to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like he actually could do like he was like show me
Would
what
you?
you
Would, yeah,
got,
I was saying,
man.
would you put? Oh,
Well, yeah, he had a higher voice. He had a higher pitched voice.
Hold is like he know how to do both.
He had a higher pitched voice.
Because even
but-
on one mic, even on "Hate Me Now," you right. It's the same.
It's the
So to
same
your point,
shit.
he just had a smoother, like a
But you
cleaner
go back
voice,
to-
like a.
yeah,
Cat-
To where it's
Yeah.
saucier, because I would have argued if you want to be real, I would have argued no. But to your point, I can't argue because that's one of my type arguments. Because that's my main argument. I love that y'all got on Aaliyah for Janae Aiko. Cool, you're a swaggy type chick. You're cool, but like, show me a track where you just inflected on it. And just really.
So she's trying to do the Sade, but not with as much class.
Thank you. Or I would have really just took you trying to take the Aaliyah lane, but it's not. You can't.
Yeah.
But and not to say you're wrong. I'm saying for me, where I'm like, yeah, you're not really singing much. You not really. And no hate, sis, get your money. You killing every day. But I'm just like, for vocally, that's not my type shit.
I mean, and so
You know what I'm saying?
and so, look,
So to
you can argue all day that there's artists doing R&B.
oh yeah.
You can argue all day, and I wouldn't argue against you.
Oh yeah.
That there's artists doing R&B well.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
noticed
not being promoted like that, and it's harder
That's the
to
part.
like R&B. They're trying to kill it. The whole point is like we're not seeing a resurgence. We're not seeing a rebirth. We're not. This is
We're
not
an
like
evolution to a new.
like-
Like just is some shit where folks has got to. Yeah.
when Neo Soul took off. You knew it. It wasn't like like when Glenn Lewis hit, Music Soul Child, India Ari, Erykah Badu, all the Soul Quarians,
D'Angelo's coming back.
Bilal,
Right?
Shout out
D'Angelo.
Dwele. He finally
Dwele.
got that
Dwele.
lane and was like,
Yes.
this is it.
Yes,
Yep.
and even Anthony Hamilton and
Oh, yeah.
you know,
And-
Yeah, but he just, like you say, so soul.
Jill Scott.
Yeah, Jill Scott.
Jilly.
like
Man.
like
Tacky
and
up the
Neo
ass.
Soul married hip hop in that Soul Quarian kind of
Yep.
Questlove-y kind of way,
Yep.
but the hip hop influence wasn't overbearing. It wasn't like
Yep.
like you could tell Questlove did the D'Angelo album. It was obvious, but it didn't sound like a Roots album. It wasn't like, oh, let me make this hella hip hop. No, he played his pocket. and was the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all of those acts popping at the same time frame. It wasn't like there was a lack of quality music. You didn't have to like think about it. You didn't have to say, "Oh yeah," but and even though it wasn't as well promoted as it should have been, you heard some of it on the radio. And you knew who the people were.
Like right now,
and these niggas had music videos and stuff. You know what I mean? Like we're in a time where that's not happening.
Right.
And to your point, thank you. So earlier,
So I'm not trying to be positive about the shit.
No, you sick. No, word. No, nothing. But to your point, thank you. So that's where I really just wanted to be more explicit. Thank you. And you the host with the most. Thank you, because you're right. There is that stamping out. So to your point, it almost feels like motherfuckers is getting it out how they can. But damn, you pointed out to where really you're shouting out a moment to where I think we were really all looking at neo soul as that resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
But oddly, we're like, what happened? As much shit came through the floodgate, it quickly.
It was like they killed it. It was like they tried to like completely.
Like shit stopped coming out.
The A&Rs, the record labels, the whoever, and you know we're all. Everybody knows it's not even a conspiracy.
Nobody could hang on.
You gotta.